Tomorrow night I'm going to SF, and you guys had some thoughts on how you think I will change when I come back from San Francisco. Communicate them.
Yeah.
You were saying stuff.
Me? Yeah, so I was saying, like, I feel like when you go to San Francisco for even 2 to 4 weeks, you will feel for the first time just the experience of like having super smart, ambitious people in such a large quantity and seeing them every day, and in experiencing that physically in person, you will just get it, and you will get the difference of what allows a place to have that experience compared to like when it's not there. And I think that when you fly back to Singapore after having experienced that, you will understand the difference in a fundamental way that will allow you to have the conviction to be like, we should stop doing this and we should do that. Like, this is how we're going to do things, and this is the difference, and I'm right and you're wrong, and you're going to go to the community and you're going to tell them like, you should be interacting in this way, and we should stop like doing this and do that. So I think that is like a positive thing that you're going to get out of the experience, and I think it's going to be really good for Learning Loop. So that's going to be pretty exciting. And I think that will be game-changing in how you can actually reach your goal of turning Singapore into some sort of SF in its own way for Asia Pacific. So I think that's pretty bullish. Yeah.
Thank you, Enzo.
Do you have any words?
No, I have
yeah.
somewhere. I mean, like, we actually, so Enzo and me chatted about it briefly.
Yeah.
I think, so we think starting Learning Loop in Singapore is actually great, and it's probably the best place where you can start Learning Loop, because there is a lot of activity going on. There are many smart people. There are a lot of startups, but the community element is lacking. In the US, that community element, or at least in San Francisco or New York, it's already there. So it will be like that market needs Learning Loop less. Singapore needs Learning Loop a lot. And it's a great market to start because there's capital, there's people. So yeah, positive.
Yeah, what's lacking is the
Learning
mindset and the culture in Singapore. And when you can bring that from San Francisco back to Singapore.
Thesis for Marvin Minsky, my thesis advisor. And Marvin didn't like my thesis. And I could tell by looking into his eyes that he didn't think I was smart enough to do AI. So he sent me down the corridor to do networking instead.
Go on. You know, there'll be a spectrum over time, but humans using these systems to do bad things, design bioweapons, hack-made computer systems, these are all quite scary. And then eventually, as the systems get really powerful, some of the more like sci-fi risks come into play.
In San Francisco with Steve and Isaac.
Oh yeah. And,
Nice jacket is the custom.
Yeah, it's a custom model one. Yeah. Shout out, yeah. Product placement.
Malaysian brand.
Sponsored by
Brought to you.
Subliminal Marketing.
All good, don't worry about it.
Thank you.
What is this?
That's the phone book. Mark it out.
You still look. It's evil, but it's good. You should try it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's actually not too sweet, surprisingly.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, got it? Yeah.
Lovely.
When it's cold.
You can see a pre-game founder playing Bitcoin, post-game founders. Agony. Whoa.
At what point have you all started to become profitable? And within that year, did you all expand the team to scale up the resources?
Are we going to be competitive?
What kind of coach did you have?
What has been the happiest moments of your startup journey so far?
What's the downside or potential risk of
I'm still trying,
app?
by the way. Potential risk of?
A desktop app.
I'm like, how do I de-risk that? By just accepting that I have an early adopter who does download things that are interesting, as long as the network that they care about is there. Get enough of them, get an early majority, so that whoever that didn't want to download eventually will, because there's all these other people are there. It's like, okay, at this point, there's a cost to not being on this.
History lesson. I just started getting the dirty dozen like my dad did me. Sure, like De Niro, Al Capone. That banquet scene with the bat. I was just like, talking. Fucking brains that guy. That shit changed me. Felt like my skull just got hit.